Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be discussing about Jupiter Lifeline Hospitals. It's a new company. It's a new company, and unka IPO aaya hai recently. So we will just go ahead and see, like the business model and how is it different from other hospitals that are listed, and is it better than the other hospitals that are listed, and does it make, is there anything attractive or lucrative about this company, right? So first thing first, let us understand the business model, as to like what Jupiter does, right? Like as from the name, you can understand, of course, it is a hospital. Now you would know, right? There are different kinds of hospital. Agar aap dekhte ho, right? There is a primary hospital, secondary hospital, tertiary hospital, or quaternary care, right? If I will be just reiterating it, as to like what is the difference between the hospitals. And if you watched my earlier videos, I've also done the same. And if you know it, what you can do is just skip it, for the next 2 minutes and watch the video. So जब आपका secondary hospital जो होता है, right? This is like, let's first primary hospital are nothing but, your small clinics where you get treated, for acute illnesses. When you talk about the secondary hospital, it is, you have a bit of specialities like आपका ENT का doctor होता है, ophthalmology का doctor होता है, and again certain, and any hospital that has उनका capacity जो होता है is hardly 50 to 100 beds, ठीक है? When you talk about a tertiary hospital, it is a bit more complex diseases such as, and very specialty centers such as आपका neurosurgery हो गया, cardiovascular surgery हो गया, this is called as tertiary. Quaternary is again, आपका organ transplant जो होता है, or genetic diseases जो होता है, which are very, very rare diseases and require extreme specialities in terms of talent. That is called as your quaternary diseases, right? And of course, as the, अगर आप secondary को tertiary से compare करते हैं या tertiary को quaternary से compare करते हो, then what happens is आपका bed का capacity also increases. Secondary का bed will be somewhere between 50 to 100, whereas tertiary का, it will be more than 100, somewhere between 100 to 250. And अगर आप multi speciality का देखते हो या quaternary का देखते हो, it will be somewhere between 350 to 500 का beds. Usually again this can vary also, but this is usually the range. ठीक है? So this is the difference. अगर आप Jupiter Lifeline Hospitals का देखते हो, Jupiter Lifeline Hospitals gives treatment between secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. They give in these ranges only. I mean, they are basically they're a multi-speciality hospital giving treatments in 30 different kinds of specialty. उनका speciality जो होता है, it ranges from oncology, ophthalmology, cardiovascular का disease है, और क्या बोलते हैं orthopedics, all of this. They have again 30 different kind of specialities. And not only that, उनका ही अपना diagnostic center है, like in their hospitals, that is also there. And also they have their own, like मतलब उनका hospital में भी they have their own pharmacy, right? And I think this is there in almost all hospital these days. It is like an in-shop एक pharmacy होता है. Even if you go to छोटा hospital also, you will find it, right? So this is more or less their business model. Like basically quarterly, secondary, tertiary or quaternary ka, it is a hospital, and they provide this care, right? Now what is special about them, in the sense like, how are they different from, let's say, the likes of your hospitals that are already there in the listed space? Agar aap dekhte ho Apollo, Fortis, ya Max Healthcare, Narayan Hrudayalaya, and I think the newly listed one Yatharth, right? So what is the difference between them and this? Agar aap dekhte ho Apollo ho gaya, ya Max ho gaya, Fortis ho gaya, they are a very they're pan-India hospitals, right? They're present in almost all the nook and corners of the country. Whereas when you talk about Jupiter एक regional hospital है, which means they're very concentrated एक Mumbai, western region of India especially, they have, in Bombay and Indore region, ठीक है? So there are two kinds of hospital. One is आपका pan-India, one is आपका regional hospital. Now what is the what is the advantage that Jupiter has over, let's say something like an Apollo or a Fortis, is the fact that since they are regional hospital, the people around that place, they have a lot of trust. In fact, actually, I got to know about this company from one of my friends. That the friend of mine was like, "Hey, Preta, there is this space listed. I saw your video on Yatharth. There is this company called this hospital called Jupiter that has been listed in the space. Unka IPO aaya hai, and we always visit that. We always visit that hospital. Can you please see that?" Right? So here again, यहाँ पे trust कैसा आता है? Because since see, when you talk about health and finances, both of it are very, like you wouldn't give your money away to anybody, right? Like you wouldn't just go randomly put it in a bank. You need to have like a good trust in that bank. That is one thing, right? The second second thing, even in terms of your health, when you have to go consult a doctor, the first thing you will go is you will go and ask is like, you will ask your relatives like, hey, this problem is there, do you know any doctor, right? It becomes because somebody, if they have gone, somebody has gone and taken a treatment or consulted the doctor, what happens is your trust or that affinity towards a doctor is even more, right? Similarly here also, they work on the similar basis. The fact that they're a regional hospital, it is easier, it is better, they have they understand the culture, they understand the geography of the state better, or the place better. And they and the people also have trust on them. Not only that, in terms of attracting the talent also, it really helps them. So this, even in, actually, if you see Yatharth ka bhi, if you see, Yatharth is also a very regional hospital. Recently only they've started to go and do the expansion, if you see, right? वो भी, if you see, for the last 10 years अगर आप देखते हो, from the time they have started, right, in Noida, there's also like in Delhi NCR regionally. Even in fact, I remember this. उनका जो Q1 का call था, when some analyst asked like, what is the difference between you and let's say the likes, because Delhi has a lot of good and reputed hospitals, right? And what is the difference between you? Why are the because their occupancy rate is also really high. So why are the people preferring you? And this is the same answer they gave. The fact that they are regional hospitals, they have a really good reputation over there. So similarly here also, it is the same case for Jupiter Lifeline Hospital. Okay? So unka hospital kahan pe? Like I told you, since it is a regional hospital and they are focused on the western side of India. ये Jupiter का hospital जो है, पहला hospital start हुआ 2007 में, एक जगह थाने में start हुआ था. So that is where the hospital is. After that उन्होंने 2017 में एक और hospital खोला था पुणे में, right? And recently in 2020 they acquired a hospital. Already जो एक hospital था इंदौर में, they acquired that and they named it, I think it starts from VV something, wishes to Jupiter something. So there are 3 hospitals. एक है थाने में, that has started in 2007. The other one is Pune, that started in 2017, and the other one is in Indore, that started in 2020, right? And now they're also starting, construction is going on for the new hospital in Dombeyville, which is a 500 bed capacity. And the difference between here is it is going to be purely for multi-speciality hospital only, right? Because अगर आप देखते हो थाने, पुणे और इंदौर में, there is a certain portion of general medicine also coming, but DRHP में it is not given, कितना general medicine से आ रहा है, कितना super speciality में से आ रहा है. So Dombeyville में जो है, it is going to be purely multi-speciality hospital, right? If I have to give the revenue breakdown, wait, let me just share the screen and show you. Yeah. Let me just share. Yeah, I hope the screen is visible, right? Yeah, the screen is visible. So if you can see, they have 3 hospitals now. So अगर आप देखते हो 3 hospitals है, थाने, पुणे and इंदौर. आप देख सकते हो 2023 में, as of March 2023, 54% of the total revenue is coming from Thane because it is a very old hospital, ठीक है? And the पुणे का जो है 34% and इंदौर का है जो recently उन्होंने acquire किया था, वहाँ से सिर्फ 11% आ रहा है, right? Now this is very important because the breakdown is also important. And as you can see, because this is the oldest hospital, 2007 में खुला था, that is why even this contributes more because like I always, I don't know if you all remember this, but like I mentioned in my other in my Yatharth ka video or Invoke video also, as the hospital it becomes older and older, the better occupancy, the occupancy ratio increases. The logic is similar to what I gave you the other day also, because let's say when a hospital opens in a new area, right, not like that people will go and go to the hospital to consult immediately, right? Because it takes one is it takes time for people to trust, right? It all comes down to that factor. It's not like big bazaar ek khula hai, so let's go and buy 10 kg ka atta. It's not that way, right? Because you're dealing with your health here, right? So of course people will first have their own doubts and everything, and then of course maybe your friend visits, or slowly wo trust build ho jata hai. And that is why you see the occupancy rate increases slowly over the years. It's not all of a sudden boom 90%. In fact, it takes around 3 years, also sometimes at least minimum 3 years for a hospital to reach an occupancy of 30%, right? So that is why you will see here 54% aa rahe Thane se, Pune se aa rahe 34% and 11%. In terms of agar payer mix dekhte ho, now what is payer mix? Like let's say if there are different kinds of patient coming to a hospital, right? One hota hai jo apne khud ka pocket se pay karta hai, aur ek hota hai jiske paas health insurance ho. And the other kind of other segment is, people who can't afford it, so they get admitted, because of these schemes. You all are aware, I hope, that a sabhi hospital may, there is a certain portion of the bed. If 100 beds say, there will be a certain percentage, शायद 4% का ही hospital का 25% of the private hospital का bed, right? Sometimes you have to keep it for your state government and a central government. इसके वजह से क्या होता है, state and central government have so many yojanas, right? So people can register through these yojanas and get admitted, and the government will pay you in return. If you see here, you can see यहाँ पे ज्यादा से ज्यादा आ रहे self payer से, right? Sorry, self payer से आ रहे हैं 45%, insurance आ रहे 53.5%, and government schemes are accounted to 1.32%, right? Now this is a a good thing here in one way, because अगर आप self payer में देखते हो, right, it is very easy to increase the price for them, right? In the sense, like, you can take आपका जो भी सर्जरी का प्राइसेस होते हैं, you can like literally price it a little bit higher, like I tell you, value growth जो होता है, right, in any retail company, it is easier here, right? And because of this, your average revenue per occupied bed also will go up. Whereas if you say for insurance companies, when you have a tie up with the insurance company, there will usually be a deal like, okay, after 2 years I can increase my price, after 3 years I can take a price hike on this insurance companies, like that. So that is the reason it is always better, you get more from your self payers. Insurance is also fine, but these two combinations are better, let's say, compared to government, because it is really difficult. Let's say job up government ka seat, you reserve it for the government seats, it's very difficult, to readily get a price ka hike over there, right? So this is a really interesting factor, that the number of seats, or the number of, not seats, sorry, the number of beds for the hospital that are in the hospital that are reserved in these schemes, it is hardly 1.32%. Because if you see Yatharth ka, it is around 25%. इसलिए आप देख सकते हो कि like इनका average revenue per occupied bed is also higher, right? So now to wrap it up, I'll just reiterate the business model एक और बार. Like, this Jupiter का hospital जो है, it is a very regional hospital, right? Which is very concentrated in the western part of India, like in especially in Bombay, that is in Thane and Pune, right? And they provide tertiary, secondary, and quaternary care. Basically, एक multi-speciality hospital है जहाँ 30 different kind of specialties are there. Okay, that is number one. इनका 3 hospital है, एक है पुणे में जो शुरू हुआ था 2007, sorry, एक है थाने में जो शुरू हुआ था 2007 में, एक है पुणे में जो शुरू हुआ था 2017 में, और ये दूसरा है इंदौर में जो 2020 में उन्होंने अक्वायर किया था, ठीक है? एंड recently they're constructing a hospital called in Dombeyville, which is again a multi-speciality hospital, and that has around 500 beds. If you see all the 3 hospitals that are there, Thane, Pune, and Indore, I think the total hospital beds are around between 1,000 to 1,200. That is the range, okay? So that is about the entire business model, and about how do I tell you about Jupiter Lifeline Hospitals. And again, payer mix is also really good here. 45% is coming from self payers, 55% is coming from insurance, and the other 1% is coming from the um, uh, the government and the state government ka, whatever the reservations are there, right? Now what we can do is, I do not want to compare the likes of, let's say, the Jupiter Lifeline Hospital to Apollo and Narayan Hrudayalaya, yeah, Fortis, because, or Fortis and Max Healthcare, because jo bhi bolo, ye sab hospitals, at the end of the day, the number of hospitals are more here. And not just that, they are there in literally they're a pan-India hospital, right, which are there in mostly even in every part of the country. Even Max also, agar aap dekhte ho, very much in Delhi, NCR, and Bombay region also. So since you're a regional hospital, let us compare it to another regional hospital, jaise Yatharth, right? Yatharth is also a regional hospital. You can watch my Yatharth ka video, if you want to know about Yatharth. Yatharth ka, if you have to compare, let's compare both, okay? This is Yatharth and this is Jupiter Lifeline. Yatharth is there in Delhi NCR region, and Yatharth ka bhi like 3 hospitals hai, okay? All 3 are in Delhi NCR region. Agar aap Jupiter ka dekhte ho, Jupiter is also in a very regional hospital in western area, that is in Bombay hai. Inka 3 hospitals hai, and one in Indore, Thane, Pune, and Indore, right? So let me just see when was this. um, Okay, so even in terms of operations also it is somewhat similar. अगर आप देखते हो यथार्थ का hospital was started in 2010, whereas ये थाने का hospital was in 2007, right? So almost, even in terms of occupancy also not a lot. It is almost the same, right? Because I'll touch upon that. Now let us go into see, this is more or less a business model. Now let us go into the revenue, कि like income statement कैसा है, and of course we will pass it to एक metric, ठीक है? अगर आप रेवेन्यू का देखते हो, लाइक इन टर्म्स ऑफ FY23 का रेवेन्यू मैंने सब DRHP से निकाला है. सो अगर आप एंड Q1 का डेटा यहाँ पे नहीं है, सो लेट अस जस्ट कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन दी FY23 का फुल ईयर, ठीक है? सो अगर आप FY23 का फुल ईयर का रेवेन्यू देखते हो, इट हैज इंक्रीज्ड ओवर FY22. अगर ईयर ऑन ईयर देखते हो कि लाइक 21.8%, ठीक है? अगर आप पैट का देखते हो, राइट, पैट हैज इंक्रीज्ड बाय 20%, दैट इज नंबर 1, राइट? एंड ऑपरेटिंग मार्जिन इज एट अराउंड 14%. सो यू कैन क्लियरली सी हियर एक ऑपरेटिंग लेवरेज मिसिंग हो रहा है, राइट? दैट इज वन थिंग, right? And one more interesting thing that I would like to highlight is, अगर आप देखते हो 2020, 2021, 2021 में अगर आप उस साल का देखते हो, there was a high pace of growth, right? अगर आप top line और bottom line का देखते हो, really high pace of growth. Now the reason for this is of course, right, 2020 and 2021 में अगर आप कोई भी diagnostic center का देखते हो, कोई भी hospitals का देखते हो, they had a really good run up because COVID का patients उतना था, right? And post 2021, of course, COVID patients were not there. The demand has normalized. Now it is just a normal patients that are coming, right? So as a result, now the pace of growth has been coming down here. So the pace of growth here, and like I told you, this is a very normal year for them because 2022 में भी कोई भी patient नहीं था, कोई भी COVID patient नहीं था. So compare it relatively, अगर आप देखते हो, it is a normal year, right? So in that year, they have hardly done 21.8 and 20% in the bottom line, and 14% उनका PAT margin था. So again, like reiterating the fact, operating leverage नहीं है. Now let us compare this to Yatharth. अगर आप Yatharth का FY23 revenue देखते हो to FY22, Yatharth has revenue top line of 27%. अगर आपका PAT देखते हो, PAT increase हुआ है 56% में, and PAT margin is also same 13.8, यहाँ पे 14 है, ठीक है? Here can you see there's a clear operating leverage play. अगर आप Q1 का Yatharth का भी result देखते हो, right, Q1 में भी Yatharth ने 40% में grow किया था, ठीक है? Revenue grew by 40%, and Q1 is the lean quarter by the way for hospitals, ठीक है? And in spite of that 40% का growth किया on a lean quarter as plus no COVID year, and PAT का जो था, PAT has grown by 74%. So there is a huge operating leverage here with Yatharth you're getting, right? And again, PAT margin are also same. उनका EBITDA margin भी is around 28%, ठीक है? So in all metrics, अगर आप income statement देखे, you have to analyze it. In all metrics, Yatharth is a better play compared to Jupiter Lifeline Hospitals. That is number 1, ठीक है? Now let's go to the hospital metrics and see, ठीक है? Wait, let me just share my screen. Okay. So अगर आप hospital metrics में भी देखते हो, can you see here? Wait. Yeah. This is the 2023 year. If you have to see, can you see? Average occupancy rate. Occupancy rate का मतलब क्या है? It's like I tell you, every time you see a company, try to find the volume growth as well as the value growth, right? Here occupancy rate in hospital is the volume growth, whereas average revenue per occupied bed is like a value growth. Why is that? Because like I told you, right, occupancy rate एक hospital में takes a lot of time. That is number 1 thing, right? And the other thing also in terms of occupancy rate is because let's say you reserve 10 beds for ICU out of 100 beds. Now you might get 110 patients, but maybe all patients are general patients. They don't want ICU bed. So it is very difficult for a hospital to reach 100% ka, occupancy ratio. It is very rare. I think one of the cases we saw more than 100% occupancy rate was COVID. Like I told you, rare cases, very out of the blue moon cases. यहाँ पर भी occupancy rate का मतलब occupied bed और occupancy rate का मतलब क्या है? That is, अगर आपको total bed में, let's say 100 beds, how many beds are getting used? How many beds are occupied, or like वहाँ पे treatment, that person is getting admitted and वहाँ पे treatment हो रहा है, right? You can see here वो 72% है. Now this is the average उनका तीनों hospital का, थाने, पुणे and इंदौर का, all the 3 hospital compared, that is 72%, ठीक है? अगर आप average length average revenue per occupied bed भी देखते हो, that is around 56,448. Now what is average revenue per occupied bed? Like I told you, it is a value growth. Here average revenues एक bed का charge कितना है, right? Like what is the average revenue per occupied bed, right? So now again, right, see why you're taking average. Let's say for example, if every surgery is different, like based on that also, like like per day whatever it is, it will change. Not just that, in terms of like there are different kinds of rooms also, right, in a hospital, right? So you have to take an average out of it. So average revenue per occupied bed is also 56,448. अगर आप देखते हो average length of stay, now average length of stay, see फॉर एनी हॉस्पिटल आपका ऑक्यूपेंसी रेट बढ़ना चाहिए क्योंकि वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ है, एआरपीओ भी जो है वैल्यू ग्रोथ वो भी बढ़ना चाहिए, ठीक है। और एवरेज लेंथ ऑफ स्टे जो है वो घटना चाहिए। व्हाई एवरेज लेंथ ऑफ स्टे? लाइक आई टोल्ड यू, एवरेज लेंथ ऑफ स्टे इज एन एफिशिएंसी पैरामीटर। सी एक हॉस्पिटल में एक लिमिटेड अमाउंट ऑफ बेड होता है, राइट, लाइक 100 बेड होता है या 200 बेड होता है। सो इफ यू हैव टू ट्रीट मोर, इफ यू हैव टू ट्रीट मोर पेशेंट्स, आपका क्या होना चाहिए, लाइक यू हैव टू बी एबल टू डिस्चार्ज द पेशेंट इवन मोर, लाइक राइट, देन ओनली यू कैन ट्रीट मोर एंड मोर पेशेंट्स। ऑफ कोर्स एज अ रिजल्ट क्या होता है, आपका वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ, ज्यादा से ज्यादा पेशेंट ट्रीट कर पाओगे तो आपका वॉल्यूम इंक्रीज होता है, राइट, दैट इज नंबर वन थिंग। और एक दूसरा रीजन है एवरेज लेंथ ऑफ स्टे का, कि लाइक जब भी आप ट्रीटमेंट करते हो एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, वो ट्रीटमेंट का कॉस्ट ही ज्यादा होता है, राइट। द मैक्सिमम अमाउंट यू कैन गेट फ्रॉम द ट्रीटमेंट, नॉट फ्रॉम द बेड का प्राइस है, राइट। बिकॉज जो भी बोलो, एक ट्रीटमेंट का कॉस्ट इज हायर एंड देन आफ्टर दैट बेड का प्राइस जो है इट इज समवॉट द सेम, अगर आप 30 डेज स्टे करो या 40 डेज स्टे करो, राइट, दैट इज वन थिंग। And the other reason also, think about this, if a patient stays for a longer period of time in a hospital, right, then of course it just clearly shows that these people are not efficient in a way, and it also gets a bad rep, right? A hospital gets a bad rep, like whoever goes into the hospital not getting out. So you need that average length of stay to always be down. Agar aap ye bhi dekhte ho, right, it is around 4.36%. Okay, so this is for Thane hospital, right? अगर आप एवरेज भी देखते हो, इट इज आई थिंक अराउंड 56. आई डोंट हैव द कंसोलिडेटेड, या इवन हियर ऑल्सो अगर आप पुणे का भी देखते हो, राइट, एवरेज ऑक्यूपेंसी रेट देखो 67% है, ऑल्दो इट इज बिन ऑपरेशनल सिंस 2017, ठीक है। एंड एआरपीओ भी देखते हो, इट इज अराउंड 48,996, एंड एवरेज लेंथ ऑफ स्टे देखते हो, इट इज अराउंड 3.85, राइट। सो ओवरऑल इफ यू सी, देयर एवरेज लेंथ ऑफ स्टे comes up to 4, and occupancy क्या बोलते हैं, occupancy ratio comes up to around between at 60%, right? And क्या बोलते हैं, average revenue per occupied bed comes up to be around 52,000. If you see Yatharth का, where is Yatharth? One second, I will just take here. Yeah, अगर आप यथार्थ का देखते हो, कि अगर आप ये कंसोलिडेटेड, यथार्थ का कंसोलिडेटेड ऑक्यूपेंसी अगर आप देखते हो, इट इज अराउंड 40%, राइट। या दिस इज Q1, सॉरी, इट इज 51%। हियर आपका कितना था, इट्स अराउंड द सेम रेंज ओनली। वेयर इज दैट वन? Yeah, it is around, it is around 60%. अगर आप average भी देखते हो, 72, 67 and 40. Now here the reason for Yatharth being 51% is in Noida का जो एक hospital था, right, they have recently, this is a newly again hardly opened I think in 2019 or 2018, and there are another hospital here, I think in Noida का hospital जो उन्होंने पहले खोला था, there they have done an expansion. Okay, so because of that, like I told you, एक जो hospital अगर नया खुलता है, then it takes time for that hospital to for that hospital to reach maturity. इसलिए if you see even in terms of, अगर आप ALOS भी देखते हो, it is at 4.3, वहाँ भी it is around 4, 3.5 to 4 only, 4 actually. So ALOS और occupancy में उतना थोड़ा फर्क नहीं है, it is at 60%. Here like I told you, the reason it is around 51% because उन्होंने नया पे expansion किया है. If you have to see in terms of अगर average revenue per occupied bed, here it comes up to be around 50, somewhere between 50,000 range, right? Here you can see the average revenue per occupied bed is 26,000. Now here in Yatharth, right, अगर आप देखते हो, it is also an advantage for them that it is at 26,000 because it is priced so low. People in that area are preferring them over the likes of the big, the big hospitals such as Fortis and Narayan Hrudayalaya. That is number one. And the other reason also their average, अगर आप देखते हो Yatharth का थोड़ा average revenue per occupied bed is कम, is because can you see like in that payer mix I showed you, यहाँ पे government का जो seats है, sorry not seats, beds जो reserved है, it is 1.3%, whereas Yatharth का जो reservation है under the government and state, that is around 25%, right? And it's very difficult there to get your price hike, right? आपका value growth वहाँ पे थोड़ा थोड़ा सा problem है वो पे, so that is why their ARPOB is a bit less over there, right? But all in all, in spite अगर आप ARPOB कम भी है, you can see that the revenue, the PAT margin is around the same. Yeah, EBITDA margin is also theirs is higher, right? So all in all, it is still okay, right? So in all terms, if you see, agar aap dekhte ho, comparing to Yatharth, both of them are regional hospital, right? Comparing to Yatharth, you can see here सारा hospital का जो metrics है, if you have to compare, अगर आपका occupancy ratio, average revenue per occupied bed या ALOS देखते हो, it is almost in the same range, right? There is not much of a difference. So coming back to here, let me just stop presenting. Yeah. So coming back to the point, like if you have to compare Yatharth and what is this? Jupiter, right? If you have to compare Yatharth and Jupiter, what is better? See, I right now from where I'm standing and when I look at the numbers, I honestly feel Yatharth is a very good play compared to Jupiter, is because let us pass एक number से let us again reiterate the fact कि like अगर आप top line का देखते हो, Yatharth का top line है 27%, Jupiter का है 21%, ठीक है? अगर आप bottom line का देखते हो, Yatharth का है 56 या Jupiter का है 20, right? And Yatharth में आपको clearly एक operating leverage दिख रहा है, whereas Jupiter में there is no operating leverage. अगर आप PAT margin देखते हो, it is still the same. सारा hospital metrics is also still the same, right? वहाँ पे 51% है, यहाँ पे also it is around the same. I think around 60% का occupancy ratio आपको मिल रहा है. Now I also told you Yatharth का 51% है because they're in that expansion phase, right? The second thing is, and then ALOS and average revenue per occupied bed में there is average revenue per occupied bed. Value growth में, in terms of value growth, you can see that Jupiter is having much more value growth compared to that of Yatharth, and I also explain the reason why is that so, right? But in spite of all of this, you can see that Yatharth still has the same margins compared to these people. Another interesting fact is, see, Yatharth's management has told that, we will try to deliver. They didn't promise anything, they didn't give guidance, but they told that, if you can expect the same kind of result going forward, somewhere between a 25% to 40%. Now, Yatharth will not have problem growing at that 40% ranges, because agar aap Yatharth ka ROE dekhte ho, Yatharth ka ROE is at around 40%, right? Now, see, if Yatharth ka ROE was at 25%, और वो बोल रहा है 40% का ग्रोथ चाहिए, then I would be like, little bit doubtful about this, because वो extra 25 to 40, वो extra 15% का growth के लिए, ROE is at the end of the day what? It just shows you how efficient you're able to convert your cash into profit, right? Whatever your cash from operations you're making, how efficient you can convert into profit. So the fact that if the ROE is less, then what will happen? To fund that extra growth, you will have to either take debt or you have to dilute your equity. पर यथार्थ में तो वो problem ही नहीं है, because it is already at 40% का ROE, right? So 40% का growth भी करने में उनको कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगा, right? And on top of that, वो लोग expansion भी करे, जो भी IPO money उन्होंने लिया, one is they are also getting aggressive into expansion. अगर आप देखते हो, उन्होंने एक झांसी का हॉस्पिटल को acquire किया in 2021, और एक जेवार का एयरपोर्ट के पास वो लोग एक हॉस्पिटल कंस्ट्रक्ट कर रहे, so that they can get all this medical tourism that is there. They can get foreign patients, unse unka aur bhi margin badega, right? That is also there. And they are also looking to construct a new hospital, and they're constantly looking for land also for that. So wahan pe expansion phase chal raha hai. Yahan pe there is no that much expansion phase. Yahan pe this Dombaville ka hospital that is there, Dombaville ka hospital that is there, it was already getting constructed way before the IPO also, right? So not a lot of expansion happening here. And here the ROE is also hardly 20%. So again, in terms of ROE also would rather prefer Yatharth, right? The main interesting fact comes here this. Agar aap Q1 FY23 ka growth dekhte ho, Yatharth has a 40% ka growth, right? And Jupiter has a 20% ka growth. So of course, a 40% growth is way better than 20% ka growth. Aapka opportunity cost dekho, right? That is one thing. Not just that, if you see even in terms of aapka market cap, Yatharth is still a small market cap, 3,000 crore ka market cap. Jupiter, when it is listed only, it got listed at 7,000 crore, I think at 7,000, 8,000 crore ka market cap, and listed at a 98 PE. You tell me, why would I pay 98 PE for a hospital that is growing at 20%? That to a regional hospital, right? And it's not like they're in an expansion phase, or is because of that aggressively kuch expansion kar rahe iske, because of that expensive how do I put this? Because the expansion is so aggressive, because sometimes because of growth you can, the P, high growth you can get the P. But यहाँ पे वो high growth भी नहीं है. So why will I pay for a 20% का growth के लिए 98 P? Whereas मुझे यथार्थ जो 40% में grow कर रहे हैं, 3,000 crore का market cap है, I'm getting at 50 P. So in all, right, Yatharth seems to be like a way better company right now where we're standing at compared to Jupiter in terms of all metrics. Like I told you, अगर आप top line देखते हो, bottom line देखते हो, ऑपरेटिंग लेवरेज है, आरओई बड़ा आरओई है, एबिटा मार्जिन भी है, प्रॉफिट मार्जिन इज आल्सो द सेम. अगर आप सारे हॉस्पिटल मैट्रिक्स देखते हो, वहां पे भी क्लियर होता है, राइट? इन टर्म्स ऑफ मार्केट कैप भी है, एंड वैल्यूएशन वाइज आल्सो इट इज वेरी अट्रैक्टिव. Whereas यहाँ पे the problem is also the fact that why, like reiterating the same thing, right? Why would I pay 98p for a 20% का growth engine doesn't make sense. Instead of that, I can rather buy Apollo and Narayan Hrudayalaya, right? I know at least जो भी होगा मेरा money तो 12 to 18% in that range, at least it can compound, right? At least probably it will not be 30%, but also, these hospitals such as Apollo and Fortis and Max Healthcare, since they've been there for a very long time, they've had a history, right? They've been operational for so long, they've been listed in the market also for so long. There is always a trust also in management, especially for Apollo and Narayan Hrudayalaya. So even if you're not making 30% of growth, you at least know like आपका पैसा नहीं डूबेगा यहाँ पे, right? That is also there. A matter of trust is there with these kind of hospital. So that is the only problem with Jupiter, right? If, in terms of valuation, अगर आप बात करते हो, even in terms of growth का metrics, right? So this is the thing. This is the overall like the gist of analysis. I'm not going in detail in terms of your balance sheet and आपका cash flow statement, because anyway, see the Q2 का results are going to come after October 15th, right? So in less than in 15 to 20 days इनका रिजल्ट आ जाएगा. So Q2 में भी बैलेंस शीट एंड कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट्स आ जाएगा. So rather see Q2 का the updated balance sheet and cash flow statements, and the Q2 का financial statements, and do an updated video than take जो हुआ है 2023 and 2022 में. And again, it is also like 6 months ago, so what is the point, right? And also as to see like how efficiently they will be using the IPO ka proceed, because as much as what they've told in IPO is whatever money they're getting, they're going to be repaying the loan. Again, see, another thing is I would have really, I think, been happy if they would have gone to more expansion with that IPO money, because at the end of the day, Jo bhi bolo, hospital is a very capital intensive and debt oriented business only, right? That is that. But having said that, only thing is in terms of if I have to like I told, both are regional hospitals, Yatharth and Jupiter, right? And both are newly listed companies, in fact. And right now, Yatharth seems like a much better play compared to Jupiter Lifeline Hospitals. And the other thing also is like I would really like to wait and watch until Q2, right? Because again, there is not a lot of not history, only DRHP document is there. How the management interacts, and how the Q2 ka performance is, because Q2 is a very strong quarter. Q2 and Q3 are good quarters for hospital sectors, right? So let us see how Q2 ka performance is. Who knows? Maybe the management can come and revise the guidance, and can come with up probably a new expansion plan or something. So I think Q2 will give us more clarity, even more clarity than what it is right now. But as of now, with the information that we have, this isn't right now, like this doesn't seem as lucrative as Yatharth was when it came in, when jab Yatharth ka IPO was, it was a lucrative thing compared to the likes of Jupiter. So yeah, that's that about Jupiter Lifeline Hospitals Limited. I will see you tomorrow with another video. Okay, until then.